Hi. You guys know the rules. No droids, no bounty hunters, no Raylos, no Ray Nobodies, none of that crap of any kind. We're here for Star Wars. That's it. No Adam Driver fans, etc., etc., etc. So today, Doomcock posted quite a bit of information, and I kind of want to go through it with an eye of logic. I think because logic is something that when you're talking about intellectual properties, a lot of people don't have. Here's the deal. What do I think is going on? So we've got Thrawn being talked about. I mean, there seriously are going to have him in it. I mean, you wouldn't have had Ahsoka mention him if they weren't thinking about bringing Admiral Thrawn, Grand Admiral Thrawn, into the universe. So we've got that. We've got shills mocking fans for thinking we're getting Heir to the Empire. Yet, it seems to me when I'm looking at what Doomcock said, he had two different stories about this, that we're going to get maybe a flavor of it, which is better, A, than nothing, and B, it's better than what we've gotten. Okay, so there's that. Now, what was the thing that he talked about that I really wanted to, oh shit. I'm trying to think right now. Hey, man. There was a lot to unpack there. Okay, I'm going to tell you that. Oh, yeah, okay, now I remember. Kenobi. If everything that Doomcock said is even remotely true, Kenobi is going to be fantastic. And I am literally dying to find out what it's going to be like, because basically it sounds like it's going to be him fighting with Anakin in his dreams, and Vader searching for him and killing Force sensitives as he goes along. This is gonna be staggeringly different than what we get in the stupid Marvel comic books and the bullshit that the joke novelists put out there. This sounds like it's gonna be really, really serious and extremely dark. Hello, Disney, welcome to the world of Star Wars. I think it's gonna be epic. Like I said yesterday, Andor wrapped in July. I'm looking forward to seeing who shows up in that. And, Kenobi wrapped just last week. So they're going into post-production. We've got the Book of Boba Fett coming out. Now, I just saw a claim, the story that so it's coming out in October. I don't think it is. I think it's December. Okay. So we'll just have to see what happens. What else is going on? It's looking pretty exciting. I mean, I don't, have any. I have hope. How's that? I'm very hopeful for this, and I think we should all be hopeful. I really, really think that it looks like the right people are in charge now. If you go to the Star Wars channel, do it right now. Do not ratio this video. They showed a clip of Filoni talking about the filming of Skywalker returning to save Grogu. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't care who you are. If you don't think Dave Filoni is one of us, I have to strongly disagree. Strongly disagree. The way he talks about Mark being there. The fact people were crying, that got people emotionally keyed in. You wouldn't see Pablo talking like that. You wouldn't see any of that shit talking like that. Okay, Filoni is one of us. Jon Favreau is one of us. Okay, he mentions John in this. Go watch it and come back and you tell me any different. Okay, it is amazing. So we got a bunch of really fairly deep, good news, I think. Again, grain of salt, grain of salt. With Kennedy preoccupied with Indy 5 and Harrison Ford not seeming like he's laid up. I mean, I'm not buying that for a minute. What I do think, and I said this yesterday in Loki's Mornings of Mischief, that the insurance company won't let him go and film. They won't let him near the set. So he's probably waiting. I mean, I wouldn't doubt he's filming now at Pinewood because he is back in London. So, I mean, who knows? But as far as actually going on location and doing the more strenuous stuff, they're not letting him. And I don't think it's because he's hurt. Because I see him walking around and he's carrying stuff in his right arm. He looks fine to me. He looks tired, but he looks fine. He looks, I think, stressed, I think. Like, I didn't bargain for all this shit. And, again, I think the paparazzi in London are a little bit more intrusive than they are in the United States. Just my feeling. So, anyway, we have that. And today, and I knew Doomcock was going to do this. I knew he was going to. I don't think he's sandbagging, and I'm going to tell you something, C-Man. Don't listen to Matt Kadish at all. Don't listen to the people who are shitting all over it. They say, stuff that looks like it's time travel. And then you see the fact that the older actors are wearing, have marks on their faces, so the CGI and the aging guys can go in and make them look younger. People like that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, okay? And I take umbrage at anything that guy says. Okay, he started a fight with the director, who is a talented, well-regarded director. And you gotta think, the person who started the argument, he was baiting. He really was baiting. Started the argument, he's never really done anything in Hollywood. Okay, I wouldn't take him at his word for anything. Now, he's got friends, that's fine, they can do that. I don't care. When I see him anywhere, I leave. And the reason is this. I can't respect a person who continually finds stuff to shit on because he's not the one in the director's chair and he didn't write it. Okay, ultimately, that's the problem. We do have an insider in Hollywood who knows a vastly amount more about what's going on there than, a guy who left in 2012. And it's Cameron Pasha, all right? Now, I don't know what's going on with the Indy 5 script, but I don't believe for a word because it's stupid, and I don't see Mangold or Frank Marshall going, wow, what a great idea. And I don't, hey Dave, and I sure as hell don't see Harrison Ford liking time travel. Okay, I think it has something to do, because, the one thing that people that are shitting on it keep forgetting is that it has something to do with the moon landing. Okay, I mean, they did film the parade through Chicago when Armstrong, Collins, and Aldrin came back. They had a big ticker tape parade through Chicago. So it has something to do with that. We have Mads Mikkelsen playing, at least in Nazi, I said that, a German physicist and rocket scientist, okay, who was probably brought to the United States during Operation Paperclip. Watch every leftist shit their pants at that. And I'm like, those guys weren't part of they were just, go sit down and shut up. That's my opinion of people like that. So I don't know if he's even the bad guy. We've got Thomas Crestman, who looks to be like he might be a KGB agent. Okay. And we got that Holbrook kid who could be playing a CIA agent. He also might be playing Mutt. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, he kind of looks similar to Shia LaBeouf. All right. But I don't know. All this is very... We don't know. But the thing is I know for a fact it is not time travel, because that's just stupid. I mean, it's probably something that the Nazis were working on, like some super weapon or something like that. Hey, H-Boomer, or something like that. Okay, and that's all I can think of at this point. I really can't. I really don't have a theory. All I know is that when I was watching the scenes that they showed, behind the scenes stuff that they showed, oh, cool, that's cool. Before Ford got hurt, that he was wearing de-aging stuff. So the idea that he's going back in time is just stupid. Okay? It just, everybody seems to forget what's going on, and they want, if you have a narrative, you have to keep following instead of being intellectually honest and saying, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, that's cool, H-Boomer. But anyway, so that being said, with Kennedy preoccupied and across the pond, it looks to me like, well, what do you think they're doing? With the spots on his face? Maybe he's got the measles. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the only logical explanation for that. Okay? That's the only logical explanation. Anyway, I mean, there are people that want this movie to fail. They're bitter, they're angry, they're upset. They hate Harrison Ford or something. And they mock him for his age and all the rest of this shit. And of course, when you see the people doing it, they're overweight, 50-year-old fat fucks who couldn't walk across the street without having a goddamn heart attack. Okay? It's like, shut up. Interesting side note. Yesterday, there's a great YouTube channel called Hollywood Graveyard. And if you want to learn more about the history of Hollywood, I suggest you watch this, because the guy goes to all the big cemeteries in that area and goes to basically show where all these people from the past are buried. And in Forest Lawn, Hollywood, John Ford and his wife are buried. And I thought, what the hell? So I went looking for documentaries. And there's a documentary there made in 1971. John Ford, or maybe it was earlier than that, John Ford and John Wayne and Henry Fonda and Jimmy Stewart. And they're all sitting around out in the desert, out in Monument Valley, talking. And John Wayne, there are a couple of times when you're watching him, and it was like they're doing a movie, and John Wayne gallops his horse named Dollar up, and then he rolls it, and the horse falls, and he falls off the horse. He did that himself. This is John Wayne with one lung, by the way, okay, after his first bout with cancer. And I was watching it. John Ford was 74, 7 in this. It was probably the year before he died. Harrison Ford is 79. The difference is remarkable. All right, back in those days, that was old. Now, not so much, if people take care of themselves. So when I hear people bitch about Harrison Ford, and I look at him and I look at people from the past, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm sure those guys are up in Valhalla looking at him going, you mean if we did that, we would never, what, you know? It was, but it's a kind of a sentimental documentary, and I suggest look it up. And there's a TMC, Turner Classic Movies, TCM, short about John Ford. Look that up too. He was a great man. 4 Academy Awards for Best Director. Okay, Grapes of Wrath, How Green Was My Valley, The Quiet Man, and I can't remember the other one. I can't remember the other one. And weirdly, he never won an Academy Award for Best Director for an Academy Award for Best Director for a Western, and he was the king of that genre. But anyway, back to what I want to talk about. So today I went to Ollie's. What I did was I went to this butcher shop. It's almost like a wholesale place, and they had all kinds of things that if I had money, I'd have come home with a freezer full of they had tomahawk steaks. One's about that thick, tomahawk steaks. Unbelievable. Big big elk burgers. Excuse me, all kinds of stuff. It was great. Meals, homemade meals ready to just put into the oven. It was awesome. So I was pretty happy. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna go to Ollie's. So I went to Ollie's. What I took, the pictures I took, do not do what I saw justice, because some of the pictures I took ended up being videos and I didn't know it. How's about maybe 100, 3 and 7/8 inch rays from The Last Jedi? All of them, as far as you could see. I did a video. I'm gonna finish that video and upload it. The comic books, the Star Wars comic books, hey Adega, were way up out of reach, so I couldn't reach them. No. I couldn't reach them. But if you see that book, the thumbnail on this, that book, the Han Solo book, was $50. And I still think they're selling it at Sideshow for $50. Do it, Dave, and then send me an email and tell me what you found. It's now for $9. Hey, Daz. I didn't buy it. You want to know why? I hate awful Ehrenreich. I don't want to see that fucker at all. Anywhere, any place, anytime. If you like that movie and you thought he did a good job as Han Solo, I can't talk to you anymore. I can't. I put my hand on it and flipped through it, and it literally made my skin crawl. To have Harrison Ford and the Han Solo we all knew and fell in love with, he mentioned in the same dust cover as a 2-foot tall, giant-headed dwarf, which is awful Ehrenreich. That movie was so bad, I can't even. I was petrified when that came out. And when I found out what they did to Anthony Ingruber, I've never been so enraged in my entire life. I got video of him talking about it. Okay. he wrongly blames Disney for it. It wasn't Disney. It was Kathy Kennedy. All right. So when I looked at that book, all I could see is her saying, is Steven Spielberg calling her up saying, "Hey, Kathy." "Oh, hi, Steven. You know, the first guy you auditioned for Han Solo, Alden Ehrenreich, he's my accountant's son, and he's one of my daughter Destry's best friends. Maybe you should consider him for the part." "You really think so? He didn't seem right." "No, I think he's wonderful. I mean, the guy that you are negotiating with, he just does impressions, which isn't true." "Well, okay, we will," and that's how it happened. Spielberg pulled a power play, and we got a dumpster fire. So not only did that movie suffer from TLJ wrath, the wrath of the fans, it suffered from everybody looked at awful Aaron Yuck and started laughing and walking away. It's like, what in the hell? Who the hell did he think he was? Okay, you know, and the excuses, like when I got into the argument with Pablo Hidalgo, "Well, we didn't want somebody that just did impressions." He doesn't just do impressions, you stupid fucking asshole. You gotta give him the script and say, "This is Han as a 22-year-old from 18 to the age of about 22. So he's not the guy that we meet at the cantina. He's very young, he's callow, doesn't know a whole lot. Think about what he would be like, okay?" And of course, but I'm glad Anthony and Gruber didn't have to go through that because the movie was awful and he deserves better. The character deserved better. So there you go. Anyway, so I'm walking around and I see other books that haven't sold. I see more books that appeared. There's one with Ray on the cover. I mean, it looks like they're selling firewood, for crying out loud. Oh, that was that. See, that's the script. That's John Kasdan being a douchebag. Okay, to be honest. So you've got that going. I mean, it was just so. Anyway, I walked over. I saw the Rays, and couldn't stop laughing. I could not stop laughing, and I wish the camera had worked. It did not. There had to be 100 of them, all on the hooks, gathering dust. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Eventually, some collector will think they were like $3 a piece, $4 a piece. We'll buy them, all probably, and put them in storage and just hope maybe someday somebody will want them. And he can sell them for more than he bought them for. I'm literally, that is, but this is the example of Star Wars under Kennedy. Ollies, cheap stuff, good stuff, cheap. That's it. I mean, I was literally speechless when I turned around and looked at Ray. Fucking Ray everywhere. I mean, it was like, what? You know, I was like agog at what I saw. It was not really horrifying, just like, where did they come from? The questions you start asking yourself, what store had these? Where did they come from? But there they were. And at least 100 comic books way on top. I took a picture. I'm going to assume they were all the Han Solo ones. But that was where the other comic books were. This is the comic that Leia punches him, because that's what Leia would do. You know, little tiny Carrie Fisher weighed 80 pounds at the time, knocking Harrison Ford on his ass. Unless he was stoned out of his mind and not well balanced, maybe. But she'd break her hand in the process. I'm like, but when you see who wrote it, it was a woman. Asian descent, not that there's anything wrong with that, who didn't know anything about how to write a guy. And of course, the story group, which I highlighted in a previous video, was all listed. We had Matt Martin with his pronouns, and Pablo with his red diaper baby stuff, and Rain Roberts with her white man hating shit, and all the rest of them. I mean, so I don't, this is where Kennedy Star Wars is at. So you're wondering why Favreau is suddenly the guy in charge. I mean, it was really funny hearing Dave Filoni talk about John in that little clip from the BTS thing that they're going to come out with soon about Luke. You guys are going to watch that. I'm going to watch that. I have to say, again, there's a reason why they're there. Go over to Ollies and see where the merchandise is for the sequel trilogy. No one wants it. No one wants it. No one fucking wants it. The kids don't want it. I don't care if your children liked it. They're not playing with it. They're not asking mommy and daddy for a Ray action figure or a Kyle Ron action figure. I mean, when it first came out, I saw Kyle Ron, a couple of Kyle Rons on Halloween night, and one Ray, and then none. I mean, when TFA came out. But that was it. I haven't seen any of that since. I never saw, any kids dressed up as any other characters. Oh, I did. I saw a little girl dressed up as Leia. I saw a couple of boys dressed up as Luke and some dressed up as Han. But the sequel trilogy, none. And now you don't see any for Halloween. This is what the sequel trilogy did to Star Wars. Okay? Little boys need their heroes, and little girls need male heroes. It hasn't gone up on the Star Wars channel. It's just a clip of it. It's just Filoni talking about it. And when you take away their heroes, when you trash what came before them, people are just going to walk away. Okay, all right, C-Man. They're just going to walk away and not be interested. It's unnatural, the kind of crap they're trying to do with it. Yeah, and you're right, Dave. And now we've got an Ollies here with stacks and stacks of Ray. Ray everywhere. It's like, it's rain and Ray. Oh my God, it's rain and Ray. And it's really interesting, you go on Twitter and you see the shills and they're talking about, and they're still attacking the fans. And you see idiots talking about make Solo 2 happen. It's not going to happen. Oh, you have, all right, first off, Doomy had a very interesting video that I talked about, Mike. I'll recap it. Basically, it looks like Kenobi is going to be really, really good. And what it's going to be is Kenobi and is having sort of these nightmares where forced nightmares where he's fighting Vader, Anakin. And then you're going to have Vader running around the galaxy looking for him. So it's going to be extremely dark and it's going to be fucking awesome. Then he brought up Thrawn. Now, oh, Mike, Dave Pensack has been a subscriber of mine for a long, long time. He was there when my friend Craig Johnson had his movie, or his channel on, and he's been a mainstay here. Anyway, we know This is me kind of paraphrasing everything. We know that Ahsoka is looking for Thrawn. So there are two different kinds of stories, and both elements of both of them might be true, that we're going to get in the book of Boba Fett. It's going to skim or like run parallel to the Heir to the Empire. So we might see things going on, kind of going back and forth. We know that in Ahsoka we are going to get Grand Admiral Thrawn. We know that there's a rumor out there that Lars Mikkelsen, Mads Mikkelsen's brother, is going to be likely playing Thrawn. And he's a great pick. He's a great pick. But it looks like there might be, there's like competing stories that sound alike, but they're a little bit different. But we'll have to see. I really, when you get into rumors like that, and you hear stories that are similar, but there are things that are slightly different, it starts to tell me there's something to this. It starts to tell me that there's things that we have to investigate. What I think, and Doomy came up with a great point. And this is big. When Luke rescued everybody at the end of season 2 and took Grogu to teach him, that changed the entire course of the whole story. No longer is Darth Raylo Luke's first Padawan. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking, Dave. Exactly. That's going to be interconnected with elements from Heir to the Empire. And I'm predicting this right now. We are going to get Leia pregnant with twins. Okay. And not one of them is going to be named Ben. All right. This, and then what they can do is to intertwine what George wanted to do also. So there's his ideas and their ideas, and together it would probably be very good. But it looks to me like everything is going gangbusters. So then, the other part of this, I went to Ollies, and I walk into an aisle, toy aisle. Yeah, you're right, man. I walked into the toy aisle, and I'm looking at one thing. I turn around and look, and there is a wall on hooks. Like, it was like this, all the way down, of Rays. And I mean stacks of them all the way back. I was like, they were the 3/7/8 inch, the little ones. I was like, and then I started laughing. And for some reason, my phone decided not to take a picture, but I did get video. So I'm going to upload a video because I was walking out, I was on video going, I can't believe this. Also, if you look at the thumbnail that I put up, that book, that Han Solo book, was $50. They're selling it there for $9. And I don't want it. My favorite character, ever. My favorite movie character, period. Why? You're looking at it, and who's the silhouette of? The discount hobbit. The dwarf with the big head and receding hairline. And I know way too much about how he got that role. And it sickens me to see him. And he was terrible anyway. And it just sullies the character to see him even considered to be Han Solo. And it insults my intelligence. All right? It's an insult to Lucas. I always thought if I had been running Lucasfilm and I got that call from Steven, I would have said, Steven, I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and the answer is going to be the same to both. If this kid had showed up with his resume and his headshot to to audition for Han Solo, would he have even gotten into an audition? Spielberg thinks back and said, think back to the time and what George was looking for. No. Are you involved with this movie in any way, shape, or form? Are you a producer? Are you the director? No. So the answer to me, bringing that kid on board as Han Solo, is no. No, no. All right. I'm sorry. There are other roles he could play. It's not going to be that one. Okay. The role calls for a type, and he is 180 the opposite of that type. 180. Okay. And I can't, and it won't, and no. All right. So there you go. That's what I was said to him. That's how you handle people who do that shit. You just say no. You know, you have to learn to say no in situations like that. And, you know, Kathy probably owed him something, but when your movie's going to suffer, no, you don't owe him anything. Okay? And he never showed any interest in Star Wars until that moment. He never showed any interest in being part of it until that. This was the guy who wanted Harrison Ford to play Indiana Jones. I mean, you'd think he would have thought and told Destry, look, I know the kid was the first guy that auditioned for the part, but he's just not right for it, all right? I'm not going to go to Kathy and ask her that because she's going to laugh me right off the phone. So no, I'm not going to, okay? Just not. Very easily dealt with, but no. Princess Destry and nepotism rule. And now we got a shitty movie with a shitty actor. But then I think Anthony Gruber was spared all that because the directors, Lord and Miller, no. The guy who should have directed Solo is probably either Ridley Scott, Christopher Nolan, or Robert Rodriguez. Okay? Those names come up. Not two people who did Lego movies. Then you bring in Ron Howard, who's literally got to refilm almost everything. So you go from a $225 million budget to a $425 million budget. And the script is stupid anyway. Wrong script, wrong actor, it was wrong. So when I look at that book, it's like I could spend this money and buy this. But I can't stomach seeing that ugly kid. I can't. And I won't. And I'm not going to give it the time of day. If they did that book without him in it, I would buy it in a heartbeat. But because I got to suffer through his Frodo face, I can't. I fucking can't. So there you go. I just can't. I won't. And there were other books that were there. And then, of course, the Star Wars comic books, which were way above my head and I couldn't reach them. And I'm sure there was more than just the Han Solo ones. Because the last time you guys saw the pictures, I took pictures. There were a lot. A lot. What happens, I think, because I did see a guy, I'm pretty sure it was a collector, grabbing some Marvel stuff. Lots of comic books, by the way. A lot of Marvel. I was shocked at how many comic books I saw. I was like, are you kidding me? I don't even read them. But, you know, I mean, if they were good Star Wars comics, I would have bought them. But they're not. I don't want to read that shit. I don't want that in my collection. Give me the old Black Horse comics. Give me the old Marvels. I had the first edition, A New Hope. I got that for Christmas. And I wish I knew where it was now. It wasn't just that, but it was just, it's sad. It's sad to see where this franchise is right now. Okay? But when you go to the Star Wars channel here and see what Dave Filoni has to say, you won't be as sad as you could be. I'm promising you right now. I was just watching this with the biggest smile on my face I've had in a long, long time. Because it was a beautiful thing to hear and see him say that. That being said, I think there's something to the Thrawn rumor, because the stories that Doomcock has been told are similar, but there's enough difference between them to make me go. So watch for that. And I do think that the Kenobi thing is dead on accurate. They wouldn't be bringing Hayden Christensen in for no reason, and it's gonna be good. I really think they're going to go and they're going to treat every one of the characters that we fell in love with respect and dignity, and I can't wait. There's a reason why they brought Shamook in. We're not going to get a recast Luke Skywalker. Yeah, you did. Which I don't know why. You know, I don't know why they need that, but I would have thought, it's going to be 6 episodes. Really, but they think it's going to be good, so maybe there's a second season. Ewan McGregor's got at least a job for the next foreseeable future for him. And so does Hayden. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to say this. Pay attention to what you haven't been hearing. We've got no leaks from the Andor set, have we? Which means Filoni, at least, is guarding that. We've gotten no leaks from the Kenobi set. We had no leaks from the Book of Boba Fett. That says a lot about what's going on now with Star Wars. Okay. This is a lot. And if you notice something, you notice that we're getting leaks from the Indiana Jones 5 set. That says a lot about Kennedy. Okay? And it's too bad, because Harrison Ford and James Mangold deserve better. Okay? That's truth. That's the truth. Yeah, they are, and I think that I also think a lot of the leaks are probably just from those paparazzi pictures. A lot of people making shit up, and you know who I'm talking about. It's just it's going to be interesting going in, seeing what happens with that. But I really want it to be good, because I really want some people embarrassed. I really, really do, because they deserve it. Cause a lot of trouble in the fandom. And it's really stunning to see how far they get before people go. So anyway, nothing about Gina. Like I said, we probably won't get any solid evidence of her returning or not returning for a while. Kennedy and her gang have to be gone, I think, before that happens. But anyway, I gotta go because I'm gonna go work out. Okay, and you guys be good. Have a good evening, and I'll see you around. And I want to show you guys somebody. Come here, buddy. Come here. Here he is. There's Kojak, the Cantina's mascot. Oh, look. See, Mike? Here he is. There he is. See, Dave? The baby, the furry velociraptor. Anyway, he says hi, and he's being a good boy. It's been real hot, so he can't go out and play too much because it gets real hot. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll see you around the galaxy. I'm gonna watch, I don't know, some movie and work out. So talk to y'all later.